We are the Muses, goddesses of the arts,
and proclaimers of heroes,
and pirates,
and villains,
and allies,
and eels,
and aliens,
and princesses,
and inventors.
Oh man, and there's a lot of these glimmers out
honestly.
here.
Hello, and welcome to the Lorcana Muses podcast. I'm Brittany.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Kimber.
And we are super excited to be back after our run to Continentals.
Yay! It was so much fun. Such a blur, but such a blast.
Oh yeah, it was a long weekend, but it was jam-packed with so much Lorcana, so many wonderful people, and just a lot of fun and friendly competition.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have a long weekend, is there a better place to have a long weekend?
No,
Absolutely not.
Like Disneyland and Disneyland adjacent is always the best place to have a long weekend.
It is the happiest place on earth.
we just met so many incredible people between fellow content creators and game designers and even just fans. Like, so many people coming out to us and saying they've listened to our podcast and they really enjoy what we have to say, and then asking where Kimber was all weekend. I was like, I'm sorry, we left her at home.
I tried so hard to get tickets for that thing. Like, oh my goodness, I fought for my life.
You and everybody else.
No, I was like, oh, I had to like refresh the page because it was frozen and nothing.
It was amazing. Brittany did fantastic in the LCQ.
Yeah, Miss Bengal is round one, and then
Yeah, I played really well, and I ended up going all the way to round 4, and then I lost in the third match of round 4. So I'm really proud of myself. I played very well.
yeah,
I should be.
It was stiff competition, but I played well, and I'm very proud of myself. I 2-0'd my first two opponents. So actually by round 4, I was the top of my pod in ranking, and so
so cool.
so that was pretty cool. And then because my ranking was so high, I did end up being third in my pod, like in overall rankings after the fact.
It's not a bad run.
Yeah, that certainly is not shabby.
And then, as you guys heard on our little mini-so that dropped yesterday or today, Daryl went through the LCQ and went to nationals.
He was invited to the ball.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so yeah, my husband, so he was also competing in an LCQ, and I'm so thankful that we did not get the same pod. And he ended up winning his pod, so he was able to, if you listen to our mini episode, he was able to have a good run and get to be a nationals contender.
And then everybody from Arizona, we had so many people that made it from the LCQs to nationals. I think there were 6 of them together.
That's crazy.
Maybe, yeah. And then we had our 2 nationalists who already were qualified, Dave and Andrew. I mean, we showed up and we repped. I got to speak to Ryan Miller during my pack rush, which was one of my highlights of my weekend. And we were talking so much about it, our Arizona crowd, and how grateful and supportive we are. And he was just thanking us for, like, that's so cool that you guys have such a big crowd out there. He likes going to Arizona, and I'm trying to, like, get him to come to our store.
I love it.
And then, of course, I had to, do a plug for our podcast. So at the end, I was like, oh, by the way, we do this podcast. And I gave him one of our pins. And he was just, like, thanking Brittany and I for doing the podcast and continuing the community. And I think that's super cool. So
That's awesome.
he's a super neat guy.
I mean, even just from home, it was so much fun. Just like refreshing Melee like a creep. I was just like, oh, there's Dave, and oh, there's Daryl, and just like watching how everything went, and just like sending all of the good vibes 6 hours away.
Dave played a heck of a game in nationals. He was so close.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his overall ranking was.
He ended up 36.
Okay, so I mean, like, so close.
And he was so close to that 32 and up pricing.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's painful.
Yeah, no, he had a really tough.
So good.
Yeah, he had a really tough final match, so he ended up not making it quite far enough based on his pair-ups and matchups at the end, but he played really well. So yeah, ended up with Dave being in 36 and Andrew being in 54th. Andrew ended up bringing Amethyst Steel, and Dave brought an Amber Steel deck. Dave and Daryl were playing very similar decks. I think there was a 3-card difference between the two of their decks. Ooh. So yeah, so they were playing a deck that another local of ours kind of constructed that was actually built to be better matchups for the Diggy Hole Amber Steel deck that has been running around.
Yep.
But we did ended up having 6 players from our local Arizona scene in the final contention for Continentals. So they were all in the championship, and it's awesome that we had 4 out of the 35 plus of us, because there was 35 is the question mark, because we think it was 35. There might have been a few more. 35 of our locals were playing in the LCQs, and 4 out of the 35 of us topped their LCQ pods, and ended up being national contenders.
Like, if you think about it, even if you give it a little bit of extra space and say there are 40 people, 10%.
Yeah.
Like, Excuse me?
Yeah, no, it
was so cool. And the amount of people, it was funny, Daryl playing that final match, because there was a big pot of us behind the scenes kind of like rooting him on silently, and we didn't want to create a huge commotion and get kicked out, but we were all like, oh my god, like silent screaming, but not really silent. So
as soon as he clinched his victory, it was not quiet.
It was not. And then you could just see like the lot of us follow out, like because it just like dispersed, because we all followed Daryl out to be like, oh my gosh, congratulations. It was so cool. And then just seeing everybody like throughout the weekend, because they had the event at the convention center. So the main nationals event was upstairs. And so they would come down every now and then and like tell us how they were doing. And the side events are going downstairs, and all the artists and all that. So it was really fun.
That's so cool.
Just run into people. And then throughout the weekend, we just kept running into people over and over again. I ran into Citizens of Lorcana a lot, as well as Enchanted Kim. And it was just like, oh, we got to stop meeting like this. And I got a lot of cards signed by the artists, because that's some of my, as well. We love the card art in Lorcana. I got Kimber some card signed since she couldn't be there.
Oh my gosh, she got me the Baymax, you guys. I was 2 seconds away from crying and have a cold brewing, and then I probably would have just happened.
It's just
so good.
Whitney was, I think, my favorite artist to sign stuff. She signed my Enchanted Yzma and was like so passionate about like the card design and like all the research she did to make that card look the way it did. And then she remembered me when Brittany went later to go and sign her cards. And then she's just like, I would love to be on your podcast. So Whitney, if you're listening, we definitely want you on. We just got to figure it out.
Yeah, we need to figure out how to have guests that are not actually in the
room where it happens.
In the room with us, so that we can have, some long distance podcast recording happening soon.
Especially in the summer when Arizona is not an ideal destination.
One of my favorite things too is I believe it was Sunday, we were kind of winding down. We were sitting outside near the little coffee shop, and Brittany and I were just chit-chatting, and somebody walked past us, came back and said, are you the Lorcana Muses? I recognize your voice. And it was one of our followers, Ben. And then he goes on to tell me that he brought the EA bounce deck I built and like made some changes to it and brought it to play at LCQ. I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starstruck when you guys are doing that. So.
I was just thinking, I'm like, oh my gosh. And I get all, exactly.
It's just amazing. I'm glad that this is happening more and more, because I think what we do is kind of fun. I mean, I know that maybe sounds a little narcissistic, but I do think it's just a little fun time we do. I was very, very proud about like how well I did throughout the weekend. You guys know that I am like a big ball of anxiety, and I don't do crowds very well, and I don't really do like long days very well. But I was very like on this weekend, if that makes sense. And I think because so the week before I really just stayed home and I like prepared myself mentally. This is what I want to do. I think going into it knowing that I was there to like meet people and make content and not necessarily play the games helped, because it was much better than Vegas where I was kind of there to do both. And then my brain couldn't kind of function with that. Like I had to pick one. So I do want to work on, so next time I can do both. But I loved being able to have so much energy to meet and have so much energy to give to everybody, and seeing everybody and give stickers. We were like passing out stickers. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I had somebody who was like, "Oh yeah, she's the social one, right?" And I was like,
"No."
Well, I'm like, she enjoys social play, but in general, she's not normally the one that's as social, like when we're in person.
Yeah, normally I lean on Brittany, although Alex and I were talking and he says he wonders if him not being there helped too, because he's my person. So like not having him to lean on kind of forced me to like have to lean on myself, because Brittany was doing other things most of the time, plus she's got Daryl to like support and think about, and I'm kind of on my own. So I don't know what it was. I hope it kind of continues, and I hope we get to go to Worlds whenever that happens. Ravensburger, please make the announcement so we can plan for all three of us to finally be in the room.
Yes, please. I just want to go to something.
I would like to know. I would love to know the new DLC circuits, because I would love to go to some of those. I'm hoping one will be in Phoenix. We have such a big metro area. It has like one has to be in Phoenix.
Oh, we have a great convention center.
Yeah, our convention center holds
There's good food, and it could be in the winter. It could be great weather. Oh my gosh! And we'd be very happy to help in other ways. What? That's crazy.
We know lots of salesperson. We know lots of people in the convention scene in Arizona.
This is true, because we're all very big Phoenix Fan Fusion nerds.
Yeah.
So
Fan Fusion does not mess around.
No, that's
not. That's where Daryl and I met. So
it's fated. It has to be there now.
Yeah.
The Robins that be.
Yeah, no, we had a really cool weekend. I ended up going to Disneyland on Sunday, and that was super fun. So our friend Mikey, who we were sharing our room with, and I decided, hey, we're here. Might as well pop on over. I mean, it was only a little bit further down the road. We rode so many rides because it really wasn't that busy, and so we ended up spending a good chunk of our day. Like we went from like 8:30 until like 3:30, and zoomed around and rode all the rides. And we rode the bobsleds twice because the Matterhorn is my favorite.
Chiropractor adjustments.
I mean, it actually
not guaranteed.
It actually wasn't as jerky as I remember it being, even from last year when I rode it. And so I
love that for you.
Yeah,
I love that for you.
Well, I don't know why that ride gets so much hate, because I love that ride.
No, I love it.
I want it every single time.
Yeah,
especially at events and matter.
But I will say we made a fatal error.
Oh
no. Their pirates broke down like 3 times when we were trying to ride it, and then Indiana Jones did the same thing. And like we would switch back and forth trying to get in line for either one of them, and of course they would break down as soon as we were getting in line. Which it happens. But we were also over there in that area, and we're like, well, might as well try Tiana's. It was slightly chilly in California on Sunday, and I don't have my own body heat generation, and I did bring a poncho, and that is the only thing that saved me at all. But my entirety of my pants, from my shoes up to my waistline, were soaked. And my poncho only covered my front because the water splashed up and under. My purse stayed dry, thankfully, because of the poncho. But yeah, no. there were some sunny moments, so that was helpful. But yeah, no, as soon we were getting in the car around 5:00, and the line around my underwear was still a little damp. And we had ridden that ride around like 11 a.m. So
right home, she's airing out her feet.
Yeah, no, my feet were so
yeah, I bet
all day up. And I was like, sorry, friends, here's some stinky feet for you. But my feet are very wet, and I need them to be dry now.
I remember when we had annual passes and we'd go in the winter, like January, February, because it's so much less busy. Everyone's just holiday season. And as a crazy middle schoolish, upper elementary age child, I saw no issue.
No.
With riding Splash Mountain at the time repeatedly. I was like, there's no line. My parents say we can't do this in the summer because it's a 4-hour wait, which, like, honestly, that's so fair. And so I just, like, gave myself low-grade hypothermia, if you can, in Southern California.
There's more water on the ride now.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I rode Splash Mountain, and there's more water on the ride now. I was extensively more wet than I've ever been on that ride before.
Oh, no. Ay.
So... fun times.
Yeah.
But don't recommend doing that without having more preparations made ahead of time.
Fair. Very fair.
Still good though. We ended up having some like soup right afterward. We're like, let's get some soup and sit in the sun and try to dry off a little bit as soup. Some sun soup.
Just like go to Jolly Holiday, get the...
Jolly Holiday was actually closed too. But we got some...
grilled cheese tomato.
Yeah, no, it didn't do grilled. We did some clam chowder from the...
Oh, okay.
In a sourdough bread bowl.
Okay.
So...
That's any bad food in Disneyland.
Yes. But not a lot. I had like the best churro I've had in a very long time though.
Disneyland churros hit better than Disney World ones.
Well, it was hot, like it was fresh right when I got it. Like they pulled it out of the roller and straight into the cinnamon sugar and then handed it straight to me, and I was like, "You love me, you really love me."
That's so fantastic. So Steph, I know that you got to go to some of the side events. What were your favorite ones that you either saw or got to participate in?
I think the side events this time were really unique and diverse. Like you had 3v3 pods that you could play, 2v2 like sealed events. There was multiplayer sealed events you could do. It was like so really like diverse. I feel like, I mean, you had obviously the constructed events, but there were so many different types of sealed and draft, and then just other different ways to play the game. I participated in the first chapter sealed, which was a lot of fun. There were 2 Elsas pulled.
That's 2. The screens that were scrubbed.
Yeah, we were like, what is happening? And then the person diagonally from me who was playing against one of our locals, Brandon, she pulled the Surfer Stitch enchanted.
Okay.
Like the one enchanted that I have been like holding back on because, you know, it's still $300.
Right, every year.
And I literally turned to her and I was like, would you be willing to trade? And she was like, no, I really want this. I was like, darn it.
Like, safe girls.
But my packs were pretty good. I mean, I pulled a Rapunzel.
Okay.
Which then in and of itself paid for that event because it's a $40 card. I got a shiny Tamatoa, which reminded me is yours too. It's at home.
For real life.
Yeah, because I have already one. And I'm never going to play Tamatoa.
I will never not play Tamatoa.
And then I played a Chaos Sealed, which was that. I think that one was my favorite.
Okay. So
I really love the Chaos Sealed, where you get 1 pack from each set.
Oh my gosh. That sounds so fun.
And that one was a lot of fun. It's fun because you sit down and the person you're sitting across from is not the person you're going to play the first game with. It's just who you're opening packs in front of.
Cool.
And so you're like showing each other the cards, like, look what I got and look what I got. And
you could probably talk strategy a little bit.
A little bit.
You're like beefing immediately.
And again, a couple of them, when I was like, oh, do you want a sticker? I would hand out the sticker and they would already say, oh, I already follow you guys. which was such a cool experience.
Stop, I'm blushing.
So I feel like I'm yelling. I've been so pumped, and I've had such a great time, and I love this community. So the Illuminateers did this thing about like why you love Lorcana, in one word, say why you love Lorcana, and I think one of them was family at the very end, and it really is like such a family kind of vibe there. One of our competitors just brought his wife, who does not play Lorcana, but she was there to just support him. And so I sat down with her for probably about an hour on Saturday, and we just chit-chatted, and I got to know her, and she's so cool. And it was just like overall such a good vibe. Like I didn't feel lonely at any point in that weekend, which is very unlike me. I usually need a person with me. But I was very happy, like, on my own and getting to meet people.
You got to be your person.
I got to be my own person. Thank you. I know my therapist is so proud. At night was a little different. Like, at night is where I started missing my husband. And because those are smaller groups, right? We're going only out to dinner with 6 people or so. So that's when I was like, all right, next time he needs to come with me.
Yeah.
But no, overall, it was just so incredibly cool. And I think the game itself is just going to continue to grow. I was a little disappointed about the announcements or the lack of, I should say, announcements there were. It was really neat to see that they're bringing Lady and the Tramp. But no card reveals. Nothing. We got nothing.
Like I think everyone was thinking, like, oh, certainly a world state.
No.
Or, like, yeah.
No. So, I don't know. It is what it is. I'm sure they have something planned, because they usually do.
Yeah.
I'm hoping there'll be another Lorecast then, because that was kind of like the prediction was, since we haven't gotten a Lorecast yet, we'll get some card reveals during the weekend, but we didn't. So hopefully we'll get another Lorecast here soon.
I mean, no complaints for me. I would love that.
So yeah,
I do have a prediction.
Okay.
Ooh.
So a lot of people are thinking, because Lady is also in 2 colors, and previously Bolt was in 2 colors. I was thinking that maybe they're in 2 colors because they're part of the, the starter decks for the new set.
I like that.
Instead of them being multicolored decks, like multicolored cards available. I don't necessarily see multiple colored cards coming in yet. It just feels a little early and rushed for the card game itself. Like, you have to think about,
there's still so much to explore.
Yeah. I'm just like, I feel like if they do it too fast, then they overcomplicate the game too early.
I agree. I still am on the boat that we are due for a new mechanic. So I do think it's going to be armor, or maybe it's a pet. Like, you get to equip a pet too.
I'm not saying not a new mechanic.
But that'd be cool.
I think the mechanic of having multiple colored cards, I think, is too much.
If the starter deck is Amber Steel, like Bolt, I'm there.
Yeah. So like, that's what I was thinking, that maybe the gold like armor on Lady is possibly Amber.
Yeah.
Possibly. Or it could just be another, like, just a detailing. Now, I know that, like, Rebecca from Rebecca Quests has some theories that she's been talking about on her Instagram today. So I'd be curious to know other people's ideas, because I do think a lot of people are talking about multiple colored cards, but I just don't think that's happening. That's just me.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
I kind of want to see too, I was telling you guys earlier, like, it'd be kind of fun if some of the Floodborn characters this set were pet versions of human characters. Like, we got Ariel's a fish or Bella's a dog. Like, I think that'd be kind of fun.
Is a mermaid, if not a fish.
Exactly.
Lie.
I mean, yeah. No, I think that'd be so cute, because, like, honestly, like, Disney pins, when they do all, like, the different kinds where they're, like, all teacups or they're or things like that. I like that idea of the characters being animals.
Which,
that would be cute.
I've made a mistake. Kimber made a mistake.
Did you start pin trading?
Yeah. I bought some pins.
Went to that place.
So what happened?
Oh no, we're getting backstory.
Oh yes.
Okay, so what happened was
say before you start the whole
Oh no, I am definitely the one who started her on this journey. I did do this.
I thought you were her friend.
I am her friend. She had to have the pin. Okay, so what happened was Daryl had rules for what he had to wear on Saturday.
Oh,
when he got the top of his LCQ pod, they handed him a paper that had all these rules. Like,
the rules is the rules.
The rules is the rules, and the facts are the facts. And the facts were that Daryl did not have clothing that would have allowed him to play according to the paper.
Could you not wear Disney clothing?
You could. The problem, it had to be licensed. And Daryl's pretty tall.
Yeah.
And so most of the clothes that I have for him are customized ones that I get from my mom to make him.
Yeah.
So they weren't officially licensed Disney shirts.
Yeah.
And so I had to go buy him a shirt from the Disney store, which, I mean,
hate when that happens.
Oh, I know, right?
I know, right?
So I went down to World of Disney all the way in because
all the best mistakes start.
Yes. So I went to World of Disney, and there's not a lot of pins in World of Disney. There's here or there. But you walk past the pin trading area on the way to World of Disney, and that's where a lot of pins are at. And I found a pin that was perfect for Steph.
Now there's more backstory.
Oh yes, there is.
Because so that was on Friday night.
Yeah.
Saturday morning, I'm in line to meet somebody. I think it was Fletcher or Fletch. He goes by Fletch. And the guy working it, so one of the Disney cast members, had a pin on his lanyard that was Max Scoof as Powerline. And so I started talking to this guy about Goofy movies, started talking about what cards we wanted. He's like, oh, don't worry, I've been standing next to Ryan Miller for 2 days, constantly telling him to put a Goofy movie. We took a picture together. We took a picture together because I was like, oh my gosh, another Goofy movie stand. I'm so excited. Brittany walks by. Brittany, oh my God, look at this pin. And then she's like, oh my God, Steph. I saw that exact pin yesterday. That's the pin I was telling you about.
Yeah, I was like, this is the pin that you needed. I didn't tell her what it was. Yeah. Because I wanted her to be excited and surprised when she saw it. But yeah, no, it was.
That's so cool.
Yeah. I love that. So yeah. So Saturday, stopped by after dinner and I got that pin for sure. I got a Little Mermaid pin because duh. And I had to get one of the mystery bags because those are fun.
They're so
I got the one of all the different pets in bed sleeping. And I got some good ones. Some I'm already ready to give away. So yeah, I'm ready to trade when I go back.
Yay!
Or no.
I loved pin trading when we went all the time when I was a kid. I had a whole collection of Stitch getting into mischief. Dressing up as different things. And so this last set when we got Pirate Stitch, I was like, oh, and I'm just twig of my heartstrings. It was so good.
Yeah, no, I think because I was never really a big fan of pins growing up. I didn't really care. Lorcana very obviously changed that because I need all the Lorcana pins. And then seeing some of those pins, it was just so much fun. It's what's funnier is the last month on my For You page on TikTok, it's been all pin trading.
Oh.
And so I was like, how serendipitous. I need to get into pin trading, so here we are.
Oh yeah, no, I always have the blind bag pin being open.
Or they're like, okay, today we're only hunting for Pluto pins, and then they would go throughout the pins. So I'm like, okay. I think the thing that's keeping Alex from completely blowing his lid on, gosh, you're collecting something else, is that we don't go to Disneyland very often.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I just do it when I'm there.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited. I love my pins.
I love
my pins.
They're so good.
But overall, I mean, what a fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
We really missed you.
Yeah, I did. You guys
missed you a lot.
Back here at the farm, we had 7 people.
Woo!
We had enough. We did it. I tied with 4. 3 or 4 people for first. Oh my god! And then everybody else tied for second, and it was so great. One of our locals brought these pumpkin cream cheese muffin cupcakes because she forgot that everyone at the mother was gonna be gone.
Oh, and she made so many.
So she was like pushing these pumpkin cupcakes.
She's like, have them.
She's like,
They're
delicious
so fun.
for you. I love her. She and I, whenever we get really slap happy, we always just like throw all the rules out and we play Chaos Lorcana, where it's like, and then Flynn Rider reaches into his pocket and pulls out a be prepared. It's like, we don't actually like do that, but we just like cry laughing. And so it was one of those nights.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was one of those nights. It was a really good time.
I was glad that there were so many of us from our local scenes because it did feel like we're not missing out on that, right? Like we brought some like things from home. So I'm very excited for Set Champs.
Yeah,
I am here. I'm ready. I'm gonna be a contender.
I'm terrified for Set Champs. Wait, everybody just polished up and got their shiniest, bestest decks, and I'm just over here like, maybe I do this. I don't know. Like,
no, my princess deck is sharpened. It is mean. I'm here. I only played it twice last weekend, but I'm ready for it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. One of our other locals was like, yeah, this is kind of a combination of what Stephanie's doing with her princess stuff and then this other thing. And I was just like, well, I hate that. That's disgusting.
Like, she's not even here.
And she was like, yeah, I listened to the podcast this week, so I already know what's in your deck. And I was just like,
oh,
I'm gonna go punch myself in the throat. Is fine.
No, it's so bad because like luckily none of the people that I played in my LCQ pod knew who I was when I started.
Yeah,
they did know who I was by the end. One of the people actually already had followed us, but none of the other 4 people that I played did. But I did give them all a sticker. I'm like
Thanks for being here today.
Sorry you lost.
I will be talking to you about you this week. But yeah, I only played against steel decks in my LCQ pod. And I was like, really?
Loathing.
For real though. The first round I played against an Amber Steel song that was pretty accurate, like pretty, like I was just like, oh yeah, that's a steel song.
See like colors, it's what you imagine.
Yeah, no, turn 1 Cindy, turn 2 Storm Rage On, blah blah blah, yada yada yada,
barf barf barf.
Ariel gets those songs, blah 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 blah. So my favorite deck, follows. My favorite deck.
Dad Connor, if you're listening, I need you on the podcast to defend Steel Song.
Nothing against Dad Connor. It's all against the Steel Song deck.
I can't be mad at Steel Song because I played it for a hot minute.
I know. I will never. But so this person, it was their first major Lorcana event outside of LCQ, or outside of Set Champs and like locals and stuff. So it was his first big one, and I was like, okay. But then I felt really bad when he said, oh, I've never seen those 2 colors played together when I started playing cards. And I was like, oh, okay.
Like, so we had no idea what
was coming for you. I was like, oh, I'm about to punch you in the face and this is not okay. I still did it because I really wanted to win, because we know my goal was at least to win the first round. First round was the winning point. And I ended up beating him 2-0. So both on the play and on the draw. I actually was on the draw in the first game, and then he was a good pilot. I just knew exactly what to do against just a traditional steel song. Yeah, especially since I've played against so many variations of it recently that I was like, I'm ready.
And like, it's that compared to, I've never seen those 2 colors.
Oh yeah, like, no, for serious. I was like, oh, that's not good for you. Like he didn't get rid of my Pluto in the first turn.
Oh, well,
yeah, no, I was like,
take you to play Charmaine. Turn 3, 4.
I actually didn't get Tremaine out in the first game. I did get her out in the second game, but I just didn't see her in the first game, which is fine. I didn't need. I was like, I got off my Fritz Eric, but yeah, no. And then second round, I played an Amethyst Steel. That was pretty good. A little bouncy. Got the steel action, got some Calhouns in there and some Smees, and they quested pretty aggressively, but I just had enough removal that was able to just finish them off, take them out. And then the third round, I played another Amethyst Steel, but this one was like a Jafar Amethyst Steel deck.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I beat that one, but it did take 3 games, because in the second game, like the first game, I beat him pretty quickly, and in the second game, he got the Jafar wheel off, and it's just it was so much lore so fast that I just couldn't recover from it. And in the third game, it was close, but I eked it out, so that was good.
Yay.
And then in the final round, the round that I ended up losing, I played a Sapphire Steel deck, and in general, that's a pretty good matchup for me, but he had some spice in there. He played the Simba that allows you to either draw cards or attack multiple characters basically on entry, and he did the attacking multiple characters thing and cleared some of my board, and then the next turn played King Arthur and finished the rest of my board, because King Arthur allowed Simba to attack ready characters. So yeah, that was not a fun match, and I think his deck had so many Tamatoas in it, like, and I just did not have enough removal answers for Big Boy Tom.
Yeah, he's hard to get rid of. Like,
yeah, and I was not getting enough Lady Tremaines. I was not like just enough removal options. I did get Prince Eric out, like to take out my own Prince Eric goal to force it. But yeah, he played really well, and he actually played really well because he ended up winning our LCQ pod, which I'm glad, because at least
somebody.
I'm going to add somebody. He did that, and I think he ended up placing like 75th in nationals.
Okay.
So like, yeah, no. So like he's a really decent player. So I was not so upset about losing to him.
Yeah.
He told Daryl on Saturday, because the national players got breakfast give it to them and everything. He told Daryl that like my deck made him sweat for sure. So that made me feel good. I was like, all right, at least I felt like I had some healthy competition. That was doing.
That's so good.
It was kind of crazy that every deck I played was a steel based deck, though.
It was the universe.
And it was just like, ha 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 ha. Here, Ruby, might as well have some steel in your face. Yeah, that's pretty much how it felt.
Yeah.
So I did enjoy seeing a lot of Ruby decks doing very well this weekend, though, because
Ruby Sapphire showing up, like, so much of it. 40%.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and that's honestly why Daryl's run did not go so fantastic, because that matchup was his hardest matchup, and that is pretty much everyone he played was running that. So not everyone, and he played out all 7 rounds, which I'm proud of him for doing that. Because even though he wasn't doing well, he still was playing. So but honestly, he made it. He made it to nationals. Yeah. Like, so like that LCQ one is no joke.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, having Ruby Amethyst win both EU and NA is insane.
Yeah.
Our poor local metas.
But also, like, how healthy for the meta that the top 4 were
all different decks.
Yeah, no.
And if you go to top 8, you grab even more color coffins.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I was like, Ruby Amethyst shakes fist aggressively, like, I love all.
Those were some. That's what all I did Sunday, was sit at a table with some people, and we chit chatted about the gameplay, and then like what we would do differently, if anything. The gameplay was just spectacular, and the People's Choice, Zach Biffins, he absolutely played an amazing game. I loved watching him pilot Amethyst Steel. I think he did fantastic with it. Yeah, I was so pleased to see the gameplay. Even Ed, he's not playing deck I would ever pick up, but like watching him play, and then those games, like, just they were immaculate. Like, that is what you want to see.
And hearing how Ed built his deck.
Oh yeah,
like
he was gonna play Ruby Sapphire.
Yeah. And the fact that he then looked and saw and observed and course corrected, I want to say, and we're just like, no, I need to adapt to what I'm seeing.
And he shocked everybody by not having any Mauis, not having any Elsas, not having any Genies. No, sorry, not Elsas, Medusas and Genies. I mean,
and Maleficent. Like, there's just so many of those cards. But he's like, oh, these are the staples. You have to have them. But he had a deep enough knowledge of the game.
Yeah, they knew they would not do well against other deck types. So I'm not too mad, because even if a lot of people do go to Amethyst Ruby, Steel Song is favored in that match for the most part, and my spicy little princess deck does pretty good with it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about making a couple of changes, but I think I'm going to go to one set champ and see how I do first before I completely change, or even see how Let's Move goes on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, I currently have 6 set champs that I'm signed up for. I don't know if I'm going to go to all 6, but that's how many I'm signed up for right now.
Hey, that's awesome.
And I signed up for them in the tired of post LCQ to play. But
I just have 3 for now. We'll see. Because there's nothing happening this Saturday in our area. There's been some talks about doing like a mini tournament for a Stitch card, like the Stitch Surfer set champ card, not Surfer, Rockstar.
Yeah.
So I might do that, because that might be fun. But also, I've been gone for 4 days from my kids, and they definitely missed me, and I missed them. So I might just take a break and just do League on Friday night.
That's super fair.
My oldest was so excited for me. She kept saying on Friday, I guess, to her classes that I was in the NACC doing content. She kept telling everybody, like, oh, mommy does the Lorcana Muses podcast.
Oh, that's nice.
She's very, very, I guess, that's so proud of me. So she was telling me today, she likes to tell people that her mommy plays Lorcana and does a podcast. I'm like, aw, you're sweet. I love her. They probably don't even, like, they have nobody.
No idea.
Oh, yeah. Like, my oldest, when we were cutting stickers to prepare, she's like, hey, could I get 24 of those? And I was like, that's a very specific number. She's like, yeah, because I want to give them to my class. And I was just like, oh, you sweet baby, I love you. Like,
I hope more kids play this game, because I think I mean, we saw so many kids there.
Yeah.
There was one of the, like, heartwarming stories that, like, still sticks out is very first day Friday. I stood in line, and there's, like, she must have been 10. She was dressed up as Vanellope Von Schweetz, and we were talking, and I gave her a sticker. She saw my Stitch binder. She saw that I was telling her how much I love Stitch growing up, and she gave me a smush penny of Stitch. She was like, here, you have this. Oh, so I love this community so much.
yeah.
It's in rough works right now, but I am kind of excited to say that we are planning on, like, a kids camp this summer for Lorcana / Pokemon, for kids to come learn TCGs. It sounds like we are going to hopefully do a tournament at the end of that, like, little mini summer camp for, like, a kids only tournament, which would be so much fun.
It really would.
I think that helps bring in I think it helps bring in kids to the game, but I think it brings in their parents too, because I think their parents will see, oh, this is something I can do with my child.
Yeah.
And it's about Disney characters, with characters from, like, the 60s all the way to now. So,
and, like, nerdy teacher moment. Like, they have to do a lot of complex thought.
Yeah.
They have to problem solve and look at situations and be adaptable, and also reading and math skills. Like, all of those things you want your kids to have bundled up in one slightly highly addictive card game. Like,
so, hey, another plug for the Gateway game as a way to introduce your child and your family to Lorcana.
it was so fun. We got it for my in-laws for Christmas, and it was just so funny watching them play each other. Like, we're like, okay, you get to choose your coach. Who do you want to have be your sensei? My husband. And you could see both of their faces. They were just like, what's the right choice socially?
Well, they're also like have no idea how either one of you play.
They have
And
like
you and Doug play so differently.
so different.
That it would be like those are very
because
different
It's just like
play lines.
Doug is like boots on the ground, sprint,
Yeah. And run.
like ramp, punch, win.
Yeah, that's how that I think that sums that up pretty nicely.
Yeah. And so if I don't have enough punches, then Doug wins. If Doug is faster than my punchies, he wins. Like, wait, I said he wins for both situations.
No, but you can win.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, I have figured out
You fast punch.
I've punched so fast. Brawl, another brawl. Maui Shark, what? Brawl again? Yes. Like,
All the brawls.
every brawl. Tremaine, Medusa, Sisu, Little Sisu, Big Sisu, every Sisu, be breath. Burn.
Ruby power.
It'll be interesting to see what the market does with those Ruby cards.
Yeah.
Because, boy, are they going up.
Oh, the Lady Tremaines have already like tripled.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm glad because I have so many of her. I'm like, come buy them off me.
I already have a bunch.
I don't need her. We'll play Ruby things.
Yeah, no, I was like, I already have 3 whole play sets of her, I think.
3.
Well, I play only Ruby decks, so I need to have all the play sets. I only have 2 play sets of Maui's.
Only 2.
Yeah.
We also only have 2 and 1 spare. A spare.
I don't have any spares, but I have 8 Maui's and 7 Maui Sharks.
We just have the 4 Maui Sharks, but I'm very happy to have them.
Yes, but we had to trade aggressively for those.
That's really real.
And open them, because we opened most of them. Then we traded.
I opened like 6 of the legendary Baymax and 1 Maui Shark.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of weird legendaries, but whatever.
Yeah.
This set has the most expensive Ruby legendary and the least expensive legendary.
Oh,
With Maui Shark and then Hades.
Oh, interesting.
the duality.
Yeah, that is very interesting. I did open an Enchanted this weekend.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
During
What?
but I've continued my reign of opening them during Pack Rush.
Ay.
So I opened.
Did you bet it like last time?
No. It was already called for.
Yeah, it was already called.
We were like searching all weekend for this Enchanted Baymax that Mikey wanted to give to his lady.
Oh.
And we were about ready to like have to buy it.
Like,
and then
the dollar books.
and then this little one is like, oh look.
Like, look, we just go play Pack Rush.
Oh, Mikey, guess what? We have trades.
Yeah.
That is so cool. It just almost looks like a wooden finish on the card. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, that one is one of the ones that I was not like excited about to see, and then it in person is so much better. Speaking of in-person cards that look so much better, that Invited to the Ball card is flawless.
Gosh.
It's very pretty.
I want to put eyes on it.
The Baymax sleeves look really great too.
Yeah. So
What do you do with that rare sleeves? Because sleeves aren't something that
You keep them. You don't
keep them.
You just
like
you don't use
with
them.
outer sleeves.
no, I don't even think you
even
play with
then-
one, but
Play with one.
Right?
play with one. Yeah.
Like these are my tokens.
Yeah.
Or something.
That's
I don't know. I think I'm on the camp that I'll never want a card that I can't play with. So like Invited to the Ball, I don't know if I would keep that. My own personal preference. I do think it's cool that like if maybe you earned it, I could see the sentimental value there.
yeah.
But I mean, it's cardboard at the end of the day, so it's expensive cardboard. Don't get me wrong.
They're shiny stuff.
But yeah, no, I was already wheeling and dealing with Dave because he got 2 more Sydney promos from the DLCs.
Oh, nice.
So I was like, oh, what do you want for those? Because I want those.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, we haven't decided if Daryl's keeping it yet, but he probably is. And now we have to decide if we're going to get it graded, just like we got our Elsa graded.
Yeah.
And so, like, if we're going to keep it, might as well keep it in a nice case.
Obviously.
So,
Obviously.
yeah, we just finished putting up like a big display case for. It's actually made for baseball cards, but we're gonna put Lorcana cards in it instead.
Baseball.
Right.
Don't work as well as I wanted it.
Some sort of trading card is going into it.
Yeah, so we're gonna put all our cards in that. So I'm
Love that.
excited about that.
That's gonna be really cool.
I just have my Stitch binder full of my like invaluable cards that I like, but they matter to me. Like the Cusco promo. So the Cusco promo, everybody was asking me all weekend who signed it because they didn't recognize the signature. I got it signed by Y Breezy, who's a content creator who adores the Emperor's New Groove. And he's always talking about how he wishes he could have like revealed any of the cards. So I told him like I have to have you sign it, and then he drew me a little llama on it too. So it was like a fun thing. It was really fun.
Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
So that was kind of cool. And then I wasn't able to meet up with all of the content creators that signed cards. Rebecca was so busy.
Yeah.
R&B, he ended up being in the top 16, so he was busy.
Anything.
So I'm hoping maybe next Worlds or next DLC I'll run into them and can get them signed, because I do want to keep track of all the content creators and who's revealed what and get those signed, because that's fun. I think it's cool.
That is a good idea.
I love that our content creators are like, we're also like this family, so we support each other. There's no like, oh, we're better than you kind of thing. Like the Illuminateers are kind of, and Rebecca herself, she's huge creators, but there's no like, oh, superiority there either. Citizens of Lorcana, that's a podcast I've listened to since the very beginning, and meeting them, I was like, oh my gosh, you're so nice. And then he messaged us after the challenge saying how nice we were and how safe we were, and like that's our whole goal, right? Is to provide safe places for people to come and like just hang out and chill and find us if they need like safe people. So I'm glad we are achieving our goal. I'm glad I'm achieving my goal. I'm very happy. This is one of my best weekends. I'm very happy.
Yay.
And I'm not feeling sick, which is something I thought I would feel. So
well, the two of us got you covered.
Yeah, no, I actually don't think I got any con cred or anything. I think it's just other things, but still not feeling 100%. Mostly very tired still, because one of us still had to work yesterday. I mean,
two of us had to work yesterday.
I had to go into my work.
I will
stay in pajamas.
Still though. It's rough.
It's rough out there. It was 30 degrees when I left my house and had
on me, so like I love that.
No, that's
for me.
Yeah.
What am I doing with my life?
But yeah, no, it was a rough day, and I ended up going to bed very early last night at 6:30, and so, but I'm having a good time enjoying being content creators and spending the best time with my friends, making and talking about the game that we love.
So far.
Yeah.
All right.
You can follow us on all of our social medias if you don't follow us already on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky at the Lorcana Muses, or on Twitter /X at the Lorcana Muses Pod, or email us at thelorcanamuses@gmail.com. Happy questing.
Happy questing.